They've attacked my mother. They thought she was me.
Now I can hear you from there.
You can also hear him from the West Wing.
For how long have you had that nose? Yeah.
It's taken me quite a while.
Huh?
30 years.
Have you ever made donuts?
Yeah, I'm actually a steel worker by trade, but I find it very difficult getting work. I mean, whenever I go to the job centre, I ask for work as a lathe operator or a sheet metal worker, but the only job they ever offer me is that of nutty professor. I had a tailor whose attitude was the same. You know, I had to give a speech at one of the firm's dinners, you know, as shop steward. And it was around about the time that we were very keen to get Japanese investment, so I dressed formally because I wanted to look just so. And I do want to express to our Japanese visitors that we are very serious about this new contract. 100% committed. Rest assured there will be no tomfoolery. Rather, we in the workforce will apply ourselves with integrity, expertise. Revolving. I'm sure you all know what it's like, but sometimes it really does get to you, doesn't it? I mean, like the other day I was running to visit my sick mother on her deathbed, but the police kept forcing me towards Westminster Bridge because they thought I was part of a London marathon.
If it would be any help at all at this difficult time, I'd be very happy to offer my services as an undertaker for nothing.
No thanks. If it's all the same, I think I'll ask someone who doesn't look like a twat.
Hello. I'm not here this week, but the fact that you expected me to be here and I disappointed you turns me on.
Your whole New York liberal intellectual guilt thing, I mean, it's so easy. You do something bad, and then you feel a little bit guilty. It's just like saying a few Hail Marys.
Jesus, what are you saying? You're just trying to make me feel guilty again. You're always trying to bring it. You try to bring a whole lot of guilt onto me. You know, it's your trick.
Wow. Oh, God.
Jesus, I can't believe you said that. What are you saying? This whole guilt and self-loathing is just a piece of plastic, the credit card that makes the liberals wrongdoing quick and easy?
That is so
well,
pathetic.
Jesus,
You always got
it's what
something
you're
clever
saying.
to
I'm
say.
shocked and appalled. I mean, jeez, it's a We're the Champions video. It's, oh, God. Humiliated. It's disgusting.
Good evening and welcome to History Today. Tonight's topic, a most exciting topic if I may say, is the Enclosures Act and its effect on English rural population. Professor Lewis, I wonder if you would agree that the most perceptive analysis of 14th century culture may be garnered from the literature of the time, Langland, Bunyan and specifically Chaucer.
Gat gente and sorwe chem the lande went into the quente broche awa the pande. O kinge, would thou note dignule in date, ne scrivenish or craftile, though it orite.
Indeed. And how exactly would you interpret this piece?
That's how your mum talks. She's got a bit missing from her mouth. It's a tragedy.
I see. See one of those boxes with a drawing of a cow on it, and when you turn it upside down, it goes moo.
Moo?
Yes, moo.
I have observed the novelty item.
That's your stereo, that is. That's your state-of-the-art Hitachi. See that Matt Munro?
No, I've never heard of him, and no one knows or cares who he is.
Yes. That's you, then.
You know when you're walking through a field and you tread in a cow patch, and then immediately with the other foot you tread in another cow patch.
So I am effectively, at this stage, standing in 2 piles of cack.
Up to the ankles.
I have heard talk of the experience.
That's your new trainers, that is. That's your 100-pound Reeboks.
Professor Lewis, do you see that woman at the back of the television theatre?
Do you mean right at the very, very back wall of the entire studio?
Yes. From here, she is a barely distinguishable speck.
I can just make her out.
That's the nearest you've ever come to getting off with a girl. Well, I don't think anyone can be in any doubt that tonight, myself and Professor F.J. Lewis have had a most valid, rich and incisive debate. Professor F.J. Lewis, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Bloody Bub. Could I have a word?
Certainly, Albert, certainly.
Well, it appears that I'm doing a lot of the stunts, and I did think that I'd been hired as an actor. Of course, I'm very grateful for the work, because I spend every penny, well, apart from the 37 pence I spend every day on a tin of Cross and Blackwell's meatballs, my little luxury, on my dear daughter.
Sally. Is she Sally? What a lucky guess. I mean, she could have been anyone, Sally. Sally with the king-size bed. Has she got a king-size bed? I don't know.
I wondered if it was possible for me to play a character. Well, say of an old man, for example. I am trained.
Well, there's the part of an old man in a sketch that Rob's going to do in a bit.
Oh, thank you. Is he West Country? All right, my lover. Is he North Country? By gum. Or is he Cockney? Jiminy. I was in rep for many seasons.
Yeah, well, you'll have to ask Robert, but I think it's the part of his old landlady's husband lives upstairs. Yeah, he's Scottish, actually.
Scottish? Oh, why? Why?
Well, that'll be fine.
Well, this will not only help pay for your dialysis machine, but make you very proud of your dear old dad and his acting ability.
Walk the streets for hours thinking, why am I punishing myself? Why can't I just let guilt go? And sometimes you can know all the arguments against the thing, but they're just in your head. You can't make them real. But suddenly, as I walked along by some grace of God, all the old maxims worked for me. You know, you're a long time dead, let it go, all that. Suddenly, they all seemed profound. It was like hearing them for the first time. A huge weight of guilt fell from me. For the first time, I felt free of guilt. I'm alive. I'm free. I am here today, life.
I run towards you.
I've always said if ever life got bad beyond a certain point, I wouldn't let myself keep suffering. You know, I'd just kill myself. You know, if ever I was duodecahedrically paralysed from the eyebrows down, that'd be it. You know, I'd just check out straight away, kill myself immediately. I don't know how. Probably I'd have to use the wooden stick on my forehead that I type with to try and stab myself after I've typed up my suicide note. And so I have decided to take my own life. It's impossible. Or failing that, I'd have to try and set myself on fire by rubbing the wooden stick on my forehead against the wooden side of the breakfast tray, hoping that eventually the 2 sticks will heat up, smoulder, and the flames will start to travel along the wooden stick towards my forehead.
It's impossible. I mean, you know, God love you if you've made that pact with life, but you're stronger than me. Or if, you know, if ever I was responsible for the death of a child, imagine that, you know, and it wasn't like complete an accident. You know, maybe I'd carried on kicking even after the kid went down. I'd just kill myself instantly of mouth cancer, skin cancer, check out straight away. Or if ever I waited a really long time for the kettle to boil and hadn't plugged it in. And that's too fine a line to carry on with for too long a time. What's the point? No, this is mad. This is mad. This is mad. I could phone Simon. I really wanted us to be friends, but even though he gave me his phone number and invited me round, I felt that he did it in a piss-off and don't phone me kind of a way. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Nothing's to do. The only thing left is just to deal with the formalities. I don't know what to do about my suicide note. I won't waste my time with poetry, because it'll be terrible at a time like this, and I'll just be buried next to Sinead O'Connor. Or with, you know, trying to explain, because people never understand. I think your best bet with a suicide note is just to get back at someone who's just kind of pissed you off a little bit, but it's nothing to do with why you actually killed yourself. I have decided to take my life as I am no longer able to bear the loud stereo of my next-door neighbour. Yes! A brief will. I wish I could give it all to that kid and his family. I'll slip what's left to Olive and Stanley upstairs. They're such good people, you know. They haven't got much money. But, you know, they bought this house in 1920 for about £80. They've lived there all their lives, and they made it beautiful in a way that only, you know, 60 years of love and attention can. Don't come into the front room, Olive. Just call the ambulance. This would all be so much easier if I lived in Sweden. Sweden has got the highest suicide rate in the world. Volvo accessories include an exhaust pipe to front window attachment. Big jump, less pain. I don't know, it must have been subsidence, not someone hanging themselves. Did you say hanging themselves? She said hanging themselves, because you'd need rope for that, wouldn't you? It's a death threat. I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal.